give them credit. I mean, they made last game, we made a couple more plays than they did. And tonight they made a couple more plays than us. And for us to weather the initial storm, that was, one of those deals where you just please just score. Let us score the first basket. And I knew once we could score the first one that we'd probably be okay. But I didn't know how, it lasted a little bit longer than I thought. And then Maldo gets in foul trouble. And thankfully, Noah Reynolds, as a true freshman in a tough environment, really stepped up in the first half. And then, I know we've been talking about some of the role guys and, the last few games, them not doing, making shots or doing what, they haven't been doing. And, X stepped up, Drake stepped up, those guys did a really good job of putting us in a position where we can win the game when, our two top guys just, give CSU credit. I mean, they had an off night, and for us to be in the position we were in, considering the fact that you had two guys coming into the game that averaged near almost 45 points in conference together, for them to end up having whatever they had, which wasn't, I think, maybe 12 or whatever it was, for us to still be in position to win the game, speaks volumes of the other guys. I thought defensively we did a really good job. We can hold a team like that to under 40%. I mean, you're going to give yourself a chance to win the game, but give Roddy credit, give Chandler Jacobs, who's a guy that kind of have to pick your poison, and he made his pay with some of those threes. So got to figure out a way to continue to keep getting better. That was the message I gave him to the locker room afterwards. You can't sit here and hope down the stretch that you're going to win games or hope that other teams lose games. We're still in a great position, 3 losses in league, but we got to continue to find a way to keep getting better as we make this stretch run.
Jeff, Maldo scores 35 last time out. What did CSU do different tonight?
They try to put a little bit more pressure on them. I think probably when you're playing in Laramie at 72-20, they're probably a little bit worried about trying to apply a lot of full court pressure, but they started a little smaller on them. Now, Maldo did a good job in terms of, we knew they were going to double. We knew where they're going to double from. We got the ball out of it and we got some shots. And then, thankfully when Noah was in there with them and even X and then Wenzel, you have to start punching it. And I thought, instead of settling for some threes, when they got into rotations of really trying to, get pieces of the paint, I thought we did a better job of that as the game went on. But, we knew it wasn't anything that we didn't know it was coming. It's just sometimes, environment like this, I mean, they play. I mean, obviously at home, you're going to have more energy and with the crowd, and that really shows on the defensive end of the floor. And they were physical and coming to a game like this, probably from an officiating standpoint, they're going to let the teams play. And that's what they did. And give them credit. They made some shots that, that they made shots, and there's some shots that we normally have that we didn't make. And at the end of the day, it's a make or miss game.
Hey, Coach. Marco Cavi with CSU Communications. I was curious, what was the starting out strategy on Roddy when he got off to a good start? And did it change, and how do you think your guys did?
Well, I mean, you have to pick your poison with Roddy. He's such a good player, and now with his ability to shoot the three, I mean, it makes it really hard. And Graham's done a really good job on him the last couple of games, just with his length and size. And he's a hard cover, and he got open on a couple threes. And I thought once we settled in the middle of the first half and towards the end of the first half, I mean, I thought we did a better job. But that's what good players do, and that's what guys that are first team all league, that are potential player of the year type of guys. I mean, he stepped up, like Maldo did when we played at our place. He had 35 or 36. We win the game, and tonight, he gets 26 and 11, and they win.
Just as a quick follow-up, so he's been having a lot of assists in the last few weeks. Tonight, I don't know if he had 1 or 0. Was that a conscious effort to not, get him, double him quick and let him fire into somebody in the lane?
Yeah, I mean, well, we knew coming in, I mean, he's a lot like Maldo, where you get him onto his right hand on that left side of the floor. First and foremost, I mean, he's looking for cutters. And last game, we gave up 4 or 5 baskets off of cuts when guys are ball watching, and it was a conscious effort on our part when that ball was, going in there, but we're not getting cut behind and going to force him to try to make shots, and then that's what we did. But give him credit, he took good shots.
Jeff, there was a sequence late in the game where Drake hit a 3 to cut it to 1, and then he had a nice defensive block on Tanjay at the rim. Did you feel like that next possession, if he could have knocked down another three, you might have been able to steal this game?
Well, I mean, would have, should have, could have. I mean, you just never know. I mean, just, great job by Drake to put us in that position. But, down the stretch, the reason why, we've been in a lot of close games, the reason why we can close out games is we have the ability to get stops and then find ways to get some easy baskets. And we gave ourselves a chance, but like I said, comes down to one or two plays. And, we talked about empty possessions and, 11 empty possessions on 11 turnovers in a game like this. I mean, you can't afford to have those empty possessions.
Hey, Jeff, Xavier DuSell, had a really strong first half on the offensive end. How promising is it to see that, just given the struggles he's had sometimes on the offensive end since the injury?
No, I mean, it was good for X to see the ball go in. I thought he played with, you could tell he had some swagger and confidence back in him tonight. And we need that as we move forward. I mean, as we go down here in the last 4 games, we need those guys to step up, and they stepped up tonight. And hopefully as we move forward, I mean, those guys, seeing the ball go in tonight will allow them to continue to do that as we make our way.
Jeff, did you ever think you'd see a game in your life where Ike attempts 2 free throws?
No, I mean, going into the game, I mean, we're 5th in the country in terms of, getting to the foul line. I mean, he's number 1 in the country in terms of fouls drawn. And, he draws 4 tonight. And, but, that's also credit to CSU in terms of doubling and not allowing him to get into the paint. And we knew that was coming, and we had some things that we were going to do, but it was just one of those nights. I mean, what can you do? I mean, you just got to chalk it up and move forward and give CSU credit for playing good defense on those guys.
What will this experience do for a guy like Noah Reynolds? And obviously you guys have great confidence in him down the stretch here. Just what can he add?
Well, I mean, the beauty of Noah, as I've always said, is, he's not lacking confidence. And for him to be able to come in this situation, and we need his ability to put the ball on the floor and to create some advantages off the bounce. I mean, that's not necessarily how we're built, but as we play some teams that are a little bit more athletic, I mean, his ability when teams start to push up, he can get to he can get by guys, and being a point guard, he knows how to make the next play. And so it's good for him to see that. It's good for him to feel that, and I think that definitely is going to help us moving forward.